Hi there, everyone. My name is Christian Eschbach, and welcome to another one of my album reviews. If you're one of my regular viewers, you know that I am on a kick of greatest hits albums right now, mostly from bands that I've just never felt the need to pick up anything else from them. We are on to another band where, even though I very much enjoy this album, and I very much enjoy listening to it, I still really don't feel inspired to go pick up other albums. And we are talking about the best of INXS. I picked this up after Rockstar INXS was on TV, and it came out before that, I think. And I really... Ooh, tough call. I really enjoy this album. There's parts of there's a part of INXS I really get into. Everything I normally complain about when it comes to the 80s, with 80s music or early 90s pop, synth pop kind of stuff, I usually just, not a fan. The nice part about INXS is they were a modern rock band. And that's the best way to put it. Yeah, there was a lot more kind of synthy vibing to it. There was definitely a lot more kind of processed 80s pop kind of vibe to it. But with this band, with the way they played their instruments, with the way they played their music, with the way they wrote their songs, it works. It's a great one of those bands that comes around once in a lifetime. They come in, they do their thing, and then they kind of disappear. I mean, obviously, if you don't know the history behind INXS, lead vocalist, unfortunately passed away from autoerotic asphyxiation. And that was actually like while I was in college. I was in journalism when that happened, and let me tell you, there was definitely a few jokes made. But autoerotic asphyxiation, that was, for a lot of people, that was the first time they had ever heard of it. Then it became kind of a normalish thing afterwards, a punchline to a lot of jokes. When they came back and they did the Rockstar INXS years later, I enjoyed watching the show. I really thought it had some good potential. Sadly, it didn't go anywhere. What are you gonna do? Let's get now. Like I said, this is before Rockstar INXS was on TV, and after the passing. And let's just get into this music, all right? So the album opens up with the single version of "You Need You Tonight," which basically means it's been cut down from its original length to bring it as close to 2 minutes and 45 seconds as possible without detriment to the song. In this case, they bring it down to 3 minutes and 2 seconds. Radio is really ridiculous sometimes. And video oddly allowed more leeway, long as the videos were good, it seemed. I'm not sure how that worked. It was just weird. Need You Tonight, really good tune. Video was really good. This was a band that knew how to use music videos and didn't just do your standard music videos when most of the bands at this time were just doing stage performance videos. So it was kind of nice that they actually, used some artistic expression and creativity. Whoever was recording, directing the videos, whatnot, there was definitely some thought and some real effort put into some of those videos. And Need You Tonight was one of those videos that in the early days was really cool. What You Need. What You Need is a good tune. It was a good, definitely enjoyable. It's not one of those songs that for me was ever as big as it was for others or whatnot. I don't know. Now, until I had picked up this album, I had never heard By My Side. And I really dig it. There's kind of an old school, almost doo-wop-y kind of vibe to it, it feels like. And I really kind of dig what it does with it and how it moves and how it feels. It's really, really kind of fun and enjoyable. Taste It's not bad. Good, fun song. You gotta say one thing about INXS is, okay, yeah, well, it's a clever title because, wow, everything in excess kind of says something about the tragic ending. Uh, so by the time you get to taste it, you know that this album is basically an album to screw to. Yep, that's the best way I know how to put it. New Sensation. New Sensation, great tune. I am sure you've probably heard it. If you haven't heard it, I'm really surprised. Maybe you grew up under a rock. Not the right type of rock. The One Thing, okay. Disappear, okay. Never Tear Us Apart. Ooh, okay. So this song is brilliant. And the sax solo in it, oh, that's something else as well. I would definitely say that Never Tear Us Apart, as much as I'm not usually into love songs or slower songs, or whatever, this is definitely one of those genuinely good slow songs. One of these genuinely beautiful love songs where, like just it works on every level, vocally, lyrically, instrumentally. Like I said, that sax work in there, oh, brilliant. Um, Original Sin's pretty good. I don't mind Original Sin. Mystify. Mystify is cool. And what I kind of like is, even though it's at this point, like most of it, it's all INXS. You can recognize that it's INXS. But by the time you get to Mystify, you realize that they really do have a few different kind of vibes and feels that they got going on throughout here. Because Mystify is nothing like Need You Tonight, which is nothing like New Sensation, which is nothing like Never Tear Us Apart, you know? Mystify would be closest to By My Side in the fact that it's kind of got a bit of a doo-woppy vibe to it, but that's it. It's not even close to that. This time, I don't mind this time. It's all right. Suicide Blonde, good tune. Suicide Blonde is a great tune. Beautiful Girl, another song. Didn't really know until I picked up this album. And Beautiful Girl is a decent tune. I hate to say it, but there's a lot of stuff in here that kind of reminds me a bit of 80s Billy Joel, sort of, kind of. But not as cheese as Billy Joel, not as moody, not as, like, definitely more enjoyable, but there's just something in the instrumentation, the way that it's played out and whatnot. Really kind of, Billy Joel in a lot of these songs is kind of the vibe that I feel and go with here. The Gift, meh. Listen Like Thieves, that's a pretty decent tune. Then you get into Devil Inside. I love Devil Inside, man. Devil Inside, the devil inside. Every single one of us, the devil inside. Whoa. It's a fun song to karaoke. I've done it a few times. Good tune. Really enjoyable. Bitter Tears, decent enough. Not Enough Time, decent enough. Salvation Jane. Now, according to this, it said that it was previously unreleased. And I'm surprised because I swear I had heard it before. Maybe it was like a single only or something like that, or a B-side or something. Salvation Jane, though, that's a good tune, man. I really dig on Salvation Jane when it's going. I really just, yeah, good, solid music. Then next up is Tight, Dan the Automator remix. I don't like this song. I don't like it at all. It's no. And then you've got Don't Change to finish it off. 21 songs on here. Nothing under 3 minutes. One song over 4.5, and it's at 4:34. So this is why they're able to jam so much into this album. I would say if you've ever been interested in INXS, if you can find this album is worth picking up. I believe I got it at a fairly good price, like one of those 2 for 20 racks or something like that. I know I picked this up at the same time I picked up Duran Duran's Greatest Hits, the exact same time I picked up Duran Duran's Greatest Hits, and this was by far more enjoyable, and I listened to this by far more than I listened to the Duran Duran Greatest Hits, which I've already covered. I also picked up the Cult's Greatest Hits around the same time as this as well, or Pure Cult, I believe it's called, which I will be getting into shortly in a few reviews. The Cult, I definitely dig the Cult, I think, more than I dig INXS, but I dig INXS more than I dig Duran Duran. Realistically, I kind of dig this album a lot more than a lot of the greatest hits or best of packages I've been covering lately, just because it's a great collection of singles, and it's the song orders and whatnot, and the way it's laid out and everything like that. Really, because even when I get to a song, I go, it's still a good song while it's playing through. Like, I still enjoy it. If this were, like, a double album, like, you know, back in the day it was released as a double vinyl, you know, best album ever released kind of thing, sort of. Not best of INXS, but, like, you know, like, INXS released one album, this was their double album they released it as, they would have destroyed the world. That's how much cool shit there is on here. But this was an album that spans 83 to 93 with a couple 2002 tracks. So spanning a decade, so you got to figure there's approximately, on average, 2 songs per year on this. That's pretty good, you know? Like, there's a reason they burnt out. You know, there's a reason why there was time off well before people had accidents. Now, as for the inside of this, because I'm running a little fast here, there is a nice little booklet in here with a fair amount of information and band members with their talking points, and then you got the lyrics in here. You got some cool pictures. There is nothing I would go out of my way to say, hey man, this is awesome. Like, that's a nice picture. I dig that picture. But that's it, you know. That one's cheese. Doesn't do anything for me. But you know, so Michael Hutchinson would be the vocalist who passed away. And then you got Andrew Ferris on keyboards. Does a good job. Because it doesn't over keyboard it. Like, sometimes you feel like it could be, but not really. Always keeps it on the tasteful side of going into full synth pop. Tim Ferriss on guitars. Kirk Pengilly on guitar and sax. Vocals are also by Gary Beer. Oh, no, sorry. Kirk Pengilly is guitars, sax, and vocals. Gary, is that supposed to be Gary Beers is bass, and John Ferris is drums. So basically you've got what looks to be 3 family members. I don't know enough about INXS to know if it is 3 family members. It definitely looks that way. Maybe it's a Ramones situation from the early days. Who knows? I should go research, and I'll pop it up here when I go through editing. But yeah, pick it up. It's cool. It's good. If you've never picked up anything from INXS, this is worth having. I would even say if you can find this on vinyl, which would probably end up being a double vinyl, pick it up. I think you would enjoy it on vinyl as well, even. Has that right time period for you know what I'm saying? But this has also been digitally remastered by the sounds of it. It has a really good quality. Released through Rhino and Atlantic. Rhino is really good for doing remasters of back catalogs, which is why I own a lot of stuff that is a Rhino release. Anyways, folks, my thoughts, my opinions. I rambled long enough. Let me know what you think. That's what the comment section is for. There's that like button, that subscribe button, the little bell for notifications. Please feel free to click on all those. There's a link that goes to Patreon where you can throw me a couple shekels if you like. Otherwise, peace, love, take care.